market cap sitting at a $1.236 trillion market cap, priced in at $62,918. And we even had NVIDIA surpassing Saudi Aramco, making it the third largest company in the world by market cap. So we have to watch out for NVIDIA, as if NVIDIA crashes, then this will trigger the entire markets to collapse. And right now we have NVIDIA almost making a new all-time high, trading at $827. Now we got some big things from Cathie Wood. We have Cathie Wood saying that the explosive moment is yet to come.
We're not finished. And in fact, in our business, what's interesting is the wirehouses, which dominate our customers. So Morgan Stanley, all the advisors at these wirehouses, Morgan Stanley, UBS, Merrill Lynch at B of A, Wells Fargo, not one of them has approved Bitcoin on its platform. That hasn't even happened yet. And those are our primary clients. When that happens, wait until you see.
Explosion.
When that happens, guys, that is when the crypto market will go absolutely ballistic, and we have even more money flowing into the crypto space, billions and trillions of dollars. And now we just had Bank of America and Wells Fargo offering Bitcoin ETFs to its wealth clients. So the explosive moment should be happening right now as we speak.
Price increase for every institutional dollar pushing in now is going to be much higher than it was last year, 2 years ago. It's, we're going to get into, if these institutions really want to own it, what I found fascinating recently, just learned it this morning, is typically when you go through a price move, a Bitcoin price move to the upside, you usually see long-term holders, which is a metric we monitor. It's an on-chain analytics metric. And it means people who have not moved, or wallets that have not moved their Bitcoin in 155 days or more. Yes. Well, normally when you go through a price move to the upside, a very nice one like we've seen in the last year, that tends to start moving down. And it did that, true to form, but it has reversed in recent days, because what we learned is GBTC sold some of its Bitcoin. So those wallets hadn't been changed in a long time, right? Now that is done, at least for the time being. Now that is done, and it's going back up again as the price goes up. That's highly unusual. And I think it is because the long-term holder is saying, why would I sell now when I know all these institutions, which own nothing in this realm, in this new asset class, they have to consider it because it is a new asset class. The
selling has gone down and the buying has gone up. Simple supply and demand. Prices of cryptos will. And we have Cathie Wood also talking about Bitcoin, AI, Africa, and emerging markets.
The convergence between Bitcoin and AI. And we had, you'll probably know of his developer name, Roastbeef, from the Lightning Network on. And he was talking about how in Africa, already this convergence is redefining division of labor. The gig economy we understand here in the United States, put that on steroids in terms of micro gig economy in the emerging markets. And you have a whole new kind of economy. So yes, very exciting.
We just had BlackRock absorbing a massive sell-off of $600 million, buying over 9,700 Bitcoin overnight. And now the Bitcoin ETF is the fastest asset to reach a $10 billion valuation. It took gold 2 years to hit $10 billion. Guys, we're moving very, very quickly. And we have from CNN Business, millennials stand to become the richest generation in history after 9 trillion wealth transfer. And from this 90 trillion, we will see some of it going into cryptocurrencies. We have even more money flowing into crypto. And from CNBC, right now, we were just at the tipping point. We have an additional $40 trillion of advised wealth in the US, which are also waiting to participate in the crypto market. Guys, once again, up to $40 trillion.
Competitors are seeing inflows. We just learned this week that some of the big banks like Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley are looking at getting into these products as well.
Yeah, we're just at the tipping point. I think that, many of my other colleagues in the industry have called for a new wave of adoption as Bitcoin ETFs become available through advised wealth channels. There's over $40 trillion of advised wealth in the US, and they largely have not been participating in Bitcoin or the crypto asset class more broadly. So we do think that, we're still in the early innings of this, only a couple of weeks since spot Bitcoin ETFs came to market.
But how competitors are seeing
Even with Bitcoin going to $64,000, we are still very early in the overall crypto market. And we have new from Matt Hugin, who is the Bitwise CIO. He says, I think there's an even bigger wave coming in a few months as we start to see the major wirehouses turn on.
When you look at what's been driving this price action on Bitcoin, Matt, how much of this is retail investors investing directly in Bitcoin? How much of it is the ETF? How much of it is institutions in the ETF?
Absolutely. It's a great question. We're seeing enormous demand for the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF and across all of these ETFs. And the answer is it's all of those categories. You're seeing retail investors come into these ETFs. You're seeing hedge funds. You're seeing RIAs or independent financial advisors. I think there's an even bigger wave coming in a few months as we start to see the major wirehouses turn on. But this has been Bitcoin's IPO moment. It's in a new era of price discovery. And I think prices could go substantially higher from here.
Let's talk about where they could go in just a minute, but I just want to go back to this idea of who you think is buying these ETFs, meaning how much of this is retail versus institutions?
Yeah, absolutely. When these ETFs first launch, they're not turned on at the major wirehouses, at the major institutions. So the initial demand out of the gate for any ETF, including these, is primarily retail and independent financial advisors and hedge funds. So I think that's the primary driver. That's what we're seeing. Right. But I'll tell you, after this meeting, I'm getting on a plane to go talk to one of the largest institutional consultants in the US about this ETF. So we're going to see that next wave of institutional capital.
You did mention hedge funds, which I will put in sort of an institutional or professional category. In terms of this big move, do you think it's that money that's pushed this, or do you think it's straight retail?
Oh, I think it's both. I think it's both. It's just new demand. If you think about Bitcoin pre the ETFs, there was only a small set of investors who could buy it. Now almost everyone can buy it, and the supply demand dynamic is just off the hook. There are 30,000 Bitcoin purchased by ETFs this week alone. Bitcoin miners have only created less than 3,000. That's what's driving the price, and it's both hedge funds and retail and that advisor community.
And lastly, we have from Rosie Rios. Let's take a look.
What do you think about cryptocurrency as a form of currency?
Well, I think the train's already left the station in terms of cryptocurrency. You may or may not know that I just joined the board of Ripple, and the reason why I chose to join that board, it's, in my opinion, one of the few cryptocurrency options out there that has a credible and legitimate use. So financial institutions use it to settle cross-border payments.
That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you